We talk a lot about migration. We talk about borders. We talk about visas. We talk about the crisis of movement. But rarely do we talk about the trigger. Why do people leave? Is it just poverty or is it a lack of perspective? Today, we are looking at the correlation that policymakers often ignore. The theme is breaking the cycles. The premise is simple but profound. Education is not just about literacy. It is a border control mechanism. It is a safety net. And for the girl child, it is a matter of life and death. Let's analyze this first. Let's look at the argument where quality education is limited, migration stops being a choice, it becomes the only path. Think about that. When a young person cannot read the global market, cannot access digital economies, and sees no ladder to climb at home, moving out becomes the only definition of moving up. The global migration is rising. We know this. But here is the nuance. Education determines if that movement is safe and informed or risky and desperate. Without education, you are moving blind. With education, you are moving with a map. This brings us to the second part of our analysis, the distinction between necessity and choice. Educated individuals migrate for specific reasons: further studies, better jobs, professional growth. They have leverage. Contrast that with the uneducated migrant. They migrate out of necessity. They are driven by poverty and unemployment. And because they lack critical literacy, they often do not understand the risk. They fall prey to traffickers. They take the donkey route. They sign contracts they cannot read in languages they do not speak. Education builds transferable skills, critical thinking, digital literacy, and adaptability. If you have this key, you can create opportunity at home through entrepreneurship. You don't have to leave. And if you do choose to leave, you enter a foreign country as an asset, not a liability. You access legal pathway and decent works. Finally, we must look at the most vulnerable demographic in this equation, the girl child. Educated girls marry later, have fewer healthier children, contribute economically to the family. This is the gender dividend. When a family has an educated daughter, the economic pressure to push her into an early marriage or unsafe migration to support the family drops. Education gives girls the power of informed decision making. It stabilizes the family unit. It breaks the cycle of desperation that traffickers feast on. So, what is the takeaway? For years, governments have tried to stop risky migration with wars, patrols, and street laws. But the White Truck Empowerment Initiative suggests that the strongest border guard is a teacher. If you want to stop young people from dying in the Mediterranean and the Sahara, you don't just need better border control, you need better classrooms. You need to give them a reason to stay and the tool to succeed if they choose to go. Education transforms a refugee into an expert. It transforms a victim into a professional. And that is a circle worth breaking. Thank you for joining me on this analysis. I'll see you next one.